Next up is another very important thing when it comes to getting your video seen by people, trying to get exposure to your YouTube channel, and that is your titles, your tags, your keywords, your descriptions. All these things play a huge part in getting your video seen by people. Now, we're living currently in the age of clickbaits, and now, well, I don't really care for it. It's kind of how it goes now on YouTube. You do have to clickbait to get your videos seen by people. Now, of course, you don't want to be extremely like misleading with your titles, your keywords, your thumbnails, your descriptions, all that stuff, because if the video is too misleading, or if all the things, your thumbnail, your title and stuff are too misleading, people can actually flag your video and it can get a strike, a community guideline strike, and these are bad. You don't want these. They're just as bad as copyright strikes, and if you get 3 of either copyright strikes or community guideline strikes, your channel will be instantly deleted, and typically they're not reversed. So if you put a ton of work into your channel and realize that if you start to fudge the line, if you start to mislead people with your thumbnails, your titles, all that stuff, it can just pretty much erase all the progress you made on YouTube, and it's very disheartening. When I first started, I had a copyright strike on my channel, and it scared the crap out of me, and pretty much set me in line from the get-go. And a lot of people have these experiences from the start. They don't really know better. They get the copyright strike, whether that be from the copyrighted music, or if somebody just doesn't like the video and just throws a community guideline strike on it. It can scare you straight, and that's pretty much what happened. Ever since that first copyright strike I got, I haven't got any since. So it kind of set me up, I guess, for success in a way, but it definitely scared me. So back to community guideline strikes. You do not want to mislead your audience. You don't want to mislead your viewers, because not only does it hurt your channel if they throw a community guideline strike on it, it also infringes on the trust that you have between your viewers and yourself. So don't lie to them. You can clickbait, though. You can try to get people to click on your video, as long as there is some truth to the thumbnail, to the title. People won't really hate you too much, because it's becoming more and more acceptable to clickbait on YouTube. And I'll cover clickbaits, I guess, more in a future lesson. But for the most part, do not mislead your viewership. Do not mislead your audience. Be straight with them, even if you're going to clickbait. And by clickbait, I mean, say for instance, you're skiing down a hill, something like that. In the title you put skiing down a hill, almost died, something like that. That's clickbait. Not necessarily misleading, because you're obviously skiing down a hill, and people can kind of interpret you dying in all kinds of different ways. So that is kind of a clickbait title. Typically people will put all caps on their titles as well, and you can mess with that, see if that works for you. Most people do it mainly because it draws attention, and that's the big part, is drawing attention to your video. Typically your video is going to appear on the sidebar of a related video, and if people see your video on the sidebar and there's all caps, a big kind of grabby thumbnail, people are going to want to click on it, and then there you go, you got a viewer. So that's the whole point of clickbaiting, and that's the whole point of trying to draw your audience's attention, or if people are watching other videos, you're trying to pretty much lure them from that video, from that channel, to your video and to your channel. So that's what you have to do. You have to clickbait, you have to put kind of extreme titles, tags and descriptions. And by tags and descriptions, typically you're going to want to put a whole bunch of keywords in your description, kind of explaining what your video is about. Like I said, if you're skiing, put skiing, extreme sports, snow, avalanche, those types of titles. While avalanche is obviously kind of misleading, it's still not necessarily it's not going to get your channel a copyright strike or a community guideline strike, but those are good keywords for that type of video, and you will learn what works and what doesn't work for you. But typically when you put in the tags, you're going to want to describe what's happening in your video. Your description is typically going to be reserved for like your links, whether that be to your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, those types of things. You want people to click on to get exposure to your social media outlets. And the main reason behind the social media outlets is you can put, when you put a new video out, you can kind of spam those on your social media. And if people weren't checking out YouTube at the time, they'll notice it through the social media and be able to check it out then. So that's kind of why you want to grow that. Not only that, but it allows you for communication with your viewership. And also if you're doing some kind of giveaway or something like that, it's just good to have communication where you can talk to your fans that isn't on YouTube. It's a good kind of, I guess, fallback option, so to speak, as well. If you're, whatever happens to your YouTube channel, if it gets deleted, if you stop making videos, you can let your people know on the social media. If you make a new YouTube channel, you can kind of transition from that to the point A to point B, that type of thing. So be honest with your viewers. That's what I can't stress enough. Don't lie to them. Don't put any kind of too egregious misleading thumbnails, misleading titles, because not only will your viewers not like it, but YouTube won't like it as well, and you'll find yourself in trouble. And your channel, if it gets deleted, is going to set you back to stage 1 or point 1 or point B, or I don't know what I'm saying, but you guys know what I'm talking about.